I'm retiring next week after 37 years at today's TMJ4, and as I kind of ride off into the sunset, I am inviting in people that I admire. And joining me in the studio this evening, Milwaukee Police Chief Edward Flynn. Chief, thanks a lot for coming in.
Thanks for having me.
You know, I have observed a lot of public figures over the years, and you are by far the most eloquent of them all. How does that happen?
Well, you know, I have a lot of things to explain.
Yeah, I suppose. Comes with the territory.
Yes, I'm kind of in the business where things happen, and when they go wrong, they go badly and publicly wrong. And my challenge, you know, isn't to try to spin or minimize. My challenge is try to communicate as directly as I can with the broader community, with our constituents, what it is that's going on. If it's something to do about crime, my job is to try to provide context, is to try to explain to Milwaukee what's happening here. If something breaks in my police department, it's up to me to try to, first of all, understand it, and then try to communicate it in a way that people can understand that there's something to worry about. Maybe there's not something to worry about, but that at least we're alert to the problem and taking reasonable steps to move forward. So this is a very dynamic business. It's a business that deals in crisis routinely. It's a business that deals with a great deal of societal stress. In that context, things go well, things go badly, but above all, the institution has to be explained as directly and succinctly as possible to its constituents.
You do that well. At the same time, do you go home at night once in a while going, why am I doing this job? I've got a tremendous headache after all these issues.
Well, I mean, I have to say there are times I go back home and let's just say I am completely worn out.
Yeah.
Okay? You know, yes, I can communicate. Yes, I can perform well in front of groups, and I mean absolutely everything I say. But I'm expending energy the whole time. And when I get home, what I really want to do is just try to recharge my batteries. But I don't question the vocation. Okay, it's stressful. You've been in the business a lot of years. I've been in the business a lot of years. I've seen the arc of my profession over the last several decades. I know how much better it is. I know how much more integrity there is in it. I know how much higher the standards there are in it. But I also know that when you are policing a diverse, hypercritical, divided democracy, you have to expect constant criticism from somewhere. And that's just the price you pay for being a public official in our great country. And some days that feels good and some days not so good.
Let's talk about the officers on the street. Has the job of policing become more difficult over the last 3 to 5 years?
I'd say it's become more difficult in the last year.
Yeah.
I mean, certainly, you know, the advent of technology has brought positive changes and negative changes in terms of, what's the expectations of the officers. But this last year has been difficult. I mean, we live in an environment that's a 24-hour news cycle, and if something is filmable, it's national news. And we've had 6 or 7 high-profile incidents involving American police officers, and the entire institution, the entire vocation, the entire business is under now critical scrutiny. No one else is really like that.
Yeah.
And I'm reminded, really, the dichotomy. Police officers today, I think, feel like Vietnam veterans did in the 1960s and 70s.
Interesting.
They are dealing with violent circumstances in which things can go wrong, trying to do the right thing, and sometimes things go very badly. I thought we learned from the 60s, and we certainly did in Iraq and Afghanistan, that no matter what your political opinion of the wars was, you supported the soldier, if not the war. I feel right now American police officers are feeling they're not being supported, that they're being judged by the worst examples, not by the very best that they do every single day.
Yeah. Chief, thank you so much for coming in. Thanks for the work you do, and thanks to all the men and women in uniform in Milwaukee and around southeast Wisconsin. They put their lives on the line on a daily basis, not knowing what's around the next corner or at the top of the next stairs.
Well, thanks so much for having me here, Mike, and allowing me to talk about the job that I love.
Pleasure, Chief. Thanks a lot. We'll take a break and be right back.